my channel, and today I'm bringing you a super simple layout that I've actually had someone ask me if I could do something super simple, looks technical, but it's super simple. So this is what I've come up with. Stripes. You can't go wrong with stripes, right? So I pulled out my Paper Rose Studios paper, and it's actually the Happy Stitches collection. Now, I've got to tell you, the Paper Rose Studio papers collections, they're a cardstock weight. They're not paper. So I started off tearing them because I'm in a tearing phase, and I thought if I tear it in this, like that way you don't even need any specific tools. You can literally just rip up paper. However, I needed to trim this. So if you use some striped paper, or even if you paint some stripes on some paper, you will be able to tear it a lot easier than what I would have been able to. But it ends up going in a bit of a direction that I wasn't even really expecting. What I did know is I didn't want these polarizing white stripes in between the colors. I didn't want that. I wanted something a little bit different to that. And I wanted to use, I haven't done a black background for a while, so I wanted to do something with a black background because it gives you a different, even though the photos that I'm using, it was a high tea lunch that I went to with a friend of mine and my daughter, and she was 3, and it was just adorable that she was having this high tea and she's stirring her little cup of tea. It was just adorable. It was decaf, don't panic. And it was just the sweetest little thing. It was adorable. So I had to scrapbook it. Now, even though it's my youngest daughter in the photos, I still thought, you know what? I want to do a black background. Haven't done one in a while, and I basically decided to put these back into rainbow order, which is how they were on the original piece of paper. This is me just seeing if I can rough up the edge of it and not make it look dodgy, but nah. This cardstock is so thick that it's great quality, but it's not really the best for doing that with it. So this is where I'm playing. I could add in some thinking music here if it would make you all feel better, but that's what I'm doing. My brain is in overdrive right now. I've got all these colors. I've separated them all, and this is my way of reconnecting them so I can move them around in one piece. This is just a piece that has been discarded, and it's just the branding strip, actually, I think, to be quite honest. Now, what I'm trying to do is line this up on an angle. Pick an angle, any angle you like. This one sort of appealed to me a little bit. Now, as you can see, the colors are not going to cover the entire background because obviously I've removed all the white out of it, so they're just not going to, and they're on an angle. So this is where my brain's still thinking, okay, you're probably going to watch this and go, Karen, you did that the hardest way possible, but bear with me. It works in the end. So this is where I realized you put those up too far, you've got to move them over a little bit, reline up your lines. The reason I drew those lines on there is because I was going to cut these with scissors, and I believe I actually start cutting one. The non-stick scissors had stickiness on the scissors. Go figure. Doesn't happen very often, but when I cut craft foam, see, I did cut one and realize that that's just not going to give me a perfectly straight line. So I popped it in, and because I have a new blade, I was confident that I could do this. So here I am. This is what I'm doing. Okay, so I've joined them together, and then I've realized, how am I going to... So I literally added some double-sided tape to make sure that all the pieces were going to stay joined, because at this point I decided that I wanted to cut it in half essentially. That's what I wanted to do. So at first I was thinking I might just have the big colourful piece in the middle, but then my brain just got super uber carried away, and look what I just did. Now, I've got my triangles that I have to now reconnect, which is okay. It's not a problem. It's not a drama. These are just the little fiddly bits, but I leave them all in. If you're new to my channel, I leave in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay? I don't, for me personally, I don't like, you know, like in the Insta world, you know, where you're on Instagram or Facebook and everyone's perfect. Everyone's got the perfect photo and the perfect position and the perfect lighting. In the scrapbook world, that's just not reality. It doesn't happen perfect every single time. It just doesn't. So I like to leave in all the good, the bad, and the ugly, so you can see what I do that you'd probably go, I wouldn't do it like that. There's got to be an easier way, or something along those lines. And 9 times out of 10, there really is. So I went through, as I was putting these stripes together, this is me spraying. Don't spray adhesive in a closed up 3x3 room. You will get high. Don't do it. I just did it. It was a silly idea. I now have a headache, but that's okay. It's my own stupid fault. Okay, so I'm joining them all together. So now I've essentially got 2 big triangles that I can actually move around, place, and line up. I'm putting them down with my art glitter glue because it takes straight away and there's no movement, and I can spread it out and it's done. So what I decided to do, as you can see here, so I've essentially got a rainbow order. I've now made it diagonal instead of straight. I've got rid of the white lines. Didn't want those in between each colour. I didn't want them there. I think the white lines have a place, but I didn't want it in the middle. I wanted it to go sort of straight through. So now it takes up the majority of my page. As you can see, I'm reusing my family taco night white cardstock because, see, I just needed a border. So I don't necessarily, you don't waste your paper. This is how I get my borders, and it's not a problem. So what I'm doing now is lining up the dead center of my page. And this one is a true 12x12, by the way. I'm getting to the point now where I think I'm probably getting to the end of having to trim the edge off my papers. I think I'm getting to the 12x12s. Okay, so, and I thought this one would be easier if I did do it a true 12x12. So this is my mandala stencil. It's a stencil, Karen. I tell you, I've got the world's biggest headache. When I say to you, do not spray adhesive in a room, please listen. I had this stupid idea that I can do whatever, and it's not advisable. So, okay, I am using white modelling paste. It's Montmartre brand. It costs $15 here in Australia. Give it a crack. If you like texture paste, look what I did. Can you see what I did there? It's all right. My OCD takes over in a minute, and I didn't really account for the fact that I roughed the black edges up before I did the stenciling. Subsequently, I ended up with the stencil, even though I put the spray adhesive on the back, it just couldn't hold on properly, and I got a bit of leakage. So, guess what? I pull out my tiny little itty bitty mini paintbrush and my matte black paint, because my cardstock is a very, very matte black. And I'm just going around sort of fixing up and going over the top of. When you look at the close-ups, you can see that if you look super ridiculously close, you can see that I've touched it up. But from a distance, which most people, when they're looking at a scrapbook, they're not going to look that closely. And it fixes it up. So there's a helpful hint. Just if you want to do that, and that way you can start you don't throw it out. You're not wasting anything. You're fixing it up and you're still going with it. So I love the look of the stenciling. I think that just made it pop. It looks so good. Now, I do have 3 photos. They are smaller photos. So once I go around this, and once I go around this on my black cardstock, so what did I use then? I will let you know while this is happening. If you are new to my channel, I would love to have you as a subscriber. I post videos at least 6 a week, and I have them up every morning. So Sunday's the only day that I don't always have something up. If I manage to get some bonus videos done during the week, I will put one up on a Sunday, but that's my family day, so I don't put one up on that day. Some may argue that today is Memorial Day for Queen Elizabeth and I'm scrapbooking, but to me it's fun. It's not really like work for me. So, sorry about that, dropped my phone. Okay, so here's my photos. They're so cute. They needed to be backed. I know, I'm coming in with the black again. They needed something to slightly you needed a border around them so that they pop on top of that mandala, which I love it. I'm actually thinking that I've got another couple of different ideas now in my head. I haven't stenciled for ages. I haven't done much stenciling. The same as I haven't done any cut files for a while. So I think I might need to do a cut file soon. I'm getting itchy feet in the cut file department. Has anyone got any ideas of any good ones that are out there at the moment? The next things I'm scrapbooking are maybe something to do with palm leaves. I've got bright fluoro colours, cheeky sleeping baby. Let me know if you have any ideas for cut files for those. So now I'm just running around with my UNIBALL SIGNO broad pen in white, just highlighting the edge and giving it a little bit of a border around the colours. It's nothing that stands out to the point of crazy, but I just wanted to add that extra bit of border just so the mandalas feel like they're not stuck on the corners, if that makes sense. And it gives the colour a bit more definition as well. So I really enjoyed that. That was really good. Then I was a little perplexed what to do in the title department. So you can see off to the left hand side here, I'm still videoing. I haven't cut this out. Yes, it's sped up, but I wanted to use a colourful title. And then I realised because I'm doing this in a way that you can quite honestly recreate this with just some kids craft paint and a cheap stencil. Do you remember when you were a kid, something that we used to always do was we used to cut out snowflakes at Christmas time. If you cut out your snowflakes and you do it with baking paper, or you could use wax paper. No, wax paper is not the best, but you could do it with baking paper or tracing paper. Cut out a snowflake and use that as a mandala, like on your page, and stencil through that. If you do it very, very carefully, it is doable. You could do that. So you don't even really need. All you need is just a few colors of paint. You can buy them from Kmart. Or go to your dollar shop. And then all I'm doing here is I've pulled out my Thickers colourful titles, and I thought I'd use Fun Day because it sort of runs across across the rainbow. It's going across. So, and then underneath it, I just put out. I don't normally do that. Have to be honest, jury's out as to whether I like it. But normally I have my all my title, it all has to match. But I'm winging it. Let me know if you like it or not. Now I'm doing my little bit of journaling, but I'm doing it with these little teeny tiny stickers. These are KAISERCRAFT stickers, and they're called mini alpha stickers. I don't use them very often. I use them in my diary or my journaling more often than anything, but I thought they could hold their own on this page. I thought, you know what? This could actually work. So I'm just putting it down there, and because the Happy Stitches, the Paper Rose Studios, their cardstock, it's kind of shiny. So I'm able to move things around once I've put them down on this particular layout, which is really helpful, because I realized right about here that I didn't have another E. So I had to modify what I was saying, and I lifted them up and they left nothing behind, which was really good. So I'm just putting in some journaling there, which I usually hold off and do after the fact, but because I was using stickers, I kind of figured it's really part of the layout. So I'm going around it with my Jelly Roll pen. Now, I don't use a Jelly Roll very often, but I have it. It's white and it's a finer tip than my UNIBALL SIGNO BROARD. I do have a finer UNIBALL SIGNO one. I think it's, what size is it? Does it say on it? Can I find it quickly so I don't sound like I'm losing my marbles? It doesn't have it. It just says angelic colour. But it's a finer tip UNIBALL SIGNO. It's not broad, it's just normal. I do have that one, but I pulled out my Jelly Roll instead. Now here I'm going around the title because I think it needed a little bit of, it needed to pop off the background. It was blending in too much. So I just went around that with my UNIBALL SIGNO BROAD. That way everything had a white border around it and I love it. I did colour in on top of some of the mandala with my gold UNIBALL gel pen, and that's it. That's all I did. So it's a super quick one and it looks really fun, and I actually love how it turned out, to be quite honest. Jury's still out on that title, but once I put the white around it, I did like it a lot more. So there you go, guys. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you to subscribe, and if not, that's okay too. Pop back tomorrow and I'll have another video for you. Thanks for watching. Chat to you soon. Bye for now.